So the other day I made something quite useful. I think it's pretty useful. It's basically this from start to finish how we train our chatters, because a lot of the time it was just in my own head, and something that I massively have been finding more and more helpful as time goes on, with hiring new staff, with outsourcing more things, is getting it all down onto lucid charts, because it basically tells you the full process, and it makes it very easy to follow step by step, instead of just telling people how to train chatters, how to find chatters, etc., etc., right? So at the moment we've got 3 chat managers per day. We've got 9 chatters per day, and now we've got a chat manager to manage everything. So to manage the chat managers, to manage the chatters, and to do everything else. So hire chatters as well, right? So obviously in the last video, I showed you the Discord where all the chatters go. So the process before they get into the Discord, and whilst they're in the Discord as well, is all here. So I'm just going to go through everything with you, and I hope it helps. If you have an OF agency, then feel free to join the Discord in the description, because we're going to be posting a lot of shit in there as well. A lot of stuff like this, which I think you'll find pretty helpful. So obviously we've got a few phases, right? We've got 3 phases. 1 is the interview phase, 2 is the training phase, and 3 is where we decide, right, are they going to be good on our team, or are we going to have to let them go? So let's go from the beginning. Let's go from interview phase. So invite potential chatter to Discord. This is where, like in the last video, there was that initial section. So if you haven't watched the last video, go and watch that first, and then watch this video, because it's going to give you a little bit more context. It's called How I Motivate My Team to Make 100k a month, I believe. So yeah, we're going to basically be finding these chatters on Telegram, in different Telegram groups, etc. We're going to invite them in the Discord. Cool. So after this is the initial interview with the potential chatter. So let's open this. Can I open it? Doesn't want to let me open it. Okay. Cool. There we go. Cool. So initial interview with potential chatter. So our chat manager, our main chat manager, is always going to do the interviews. He's going to jump into the first. Let me pull this up. Actually, it's going to be a little bit easier if I pull it up and basically show you guys what I'm actually doing, just so it's not just like all up in the air. Cool. So this is where they're going to be added into, right? Once they apply, they put their name, they put whatever it might be. We are now going to be going into the interview lounge, which is this section here. So it's going to be a call. Our chat manager is going to be inside here, and the new chatter. And we're basically going to go through this entire doc. So initial interview with potential chatter, questions to ask, all of these things. So where are you from? Do you have a stable Wi-Fi connection? Do you have any chatting experience? If has experience, how much would you make on an average 8-hour shift? How long have you been speaking English for, if they're obviously not English? What is your availability like? Can you work nights, etc., etc., etc. In this stage, you want to try and suss the person out, see if they're smart, listen well, speak good English, etc. Because people think chatters are shit jobs, but actually they make decent money, and you have to be semi-smart to be a chatter, because you have to be quite emotionally intelligent. It's all about emotions. You can't be talking like a robot. You have to read between the lines quite a lot. So, people with like a 20 IQ can't read between the lines. They're just like, oh, he said this. This is must be what it means. No, that's not how it works at all. So, if they do all of these things good, and you think they would be a good learner, that's one of the most important things. Someone can be dumb. We've had dumb people in the past that grow into extremely competent chatters because they listen and because they ask questions, because they want to learn, right? So then we do a couple of tests. Wi-Fi test. Tell the chatter to share screen in Discord and head to this website, www.speedtest.net. If the Wi-Fi speed is less than 10 megabytes per second, automatically the chatter doesn't qualify. If the chatter does qualify, go to this website with their screen share to do an English test. So I'll take you to this website quickly. So it's Europa-School, and it's just a lot of simple grammar stuff. So like different tenses, that sort of thing, right? I'll go through a few questions. So where is you from, right? That's obviously wrong. Where are you from? So it's basically it's basic stuff. However, it sort of tests the level of English that we want to get from a chat, right? I get up at 8 o'clock every morning. Sit down, and you get the point, right? I'm not going to do the whole English test, but we want at least a 55 out of 60 to qualify, because this is basic shit. Like, everyone who says they speak English should be able to do this test with no problem at all. Some of them are trick questions, so we give them 5 to basically fuck up, and then we can go back over them. However, you get the point, right? If the chatter qualifies, let them know the initial payment structure. So this is our sort of payment things for a very, very beginning level chatter. $3 an hour for 3 8-hour shifts whilst training, or until ready to chat alone. And then when they actually qualify, it goes up to $3 and 3% commission. So they'll be making a couple thousand on a shift. So it's they make about $70 a day. And weekly bonuses as well, they get them. There is room for promotion, so we always want to let them know that they can always progress in our company. It's never going to be just one role forever. If they want to progress, they can. Like the 3 chat managers we've got on now, and the main chat manager, they have all started as chatters, all of them. And they didn't even chat before, so they've learned. They've showed that they're competent. They've showed that they want to learn. They showed that they want to do well. They want to make money. And they've also shown that they're a good team member, which is very important. So yeah, there's always room for promotion to chat manager and team leader down the line. Read Discord rules again to them. So Discord rules. This is where we will just read some of the rules here. But yeah, why am I bringing up the calendar? Okay, back on this one. So that's the interview phase. If they get to the end here, they've read the rules, they've agreed, then that is when we go into the training phase. So, new chat training sessions. Let's go into here. So, new chat training sessions, Discord rules. Chatter is required to clock in and clock out 2 minutes prior to the start of their shift. The chat timesheet, Discord channel, and that is this one. So log in, log out, etc., etc. Chatter is required to stay in the Chatter on Duty Discord channel for the duration of their shift. This is when their hourly pay will be counted for, which is this. Hello guys, how's it going? Oh, my microphone's off. They're not going to hear that. Anyway, that's that channel, right? They stay in there, Chatter on Duty. Number 3, Chatter needs to know how to use the schedule and find their shift, and who their point of call will be if they need any help. So obviously there's a chat manager on each shift, and there's also 3 chatters below them, which the chat manager will cater to during that shift. So they're obviously the point of call. Know where the wins channel is, and to put their wins in throughout the shift. Let me just pull up the wins channel. So there we go. So this guy earlier, 150, 65, 3,500, so about 450, right? $500. Slow and dry replies. So this is a shit spender. He was on 0 and 13, slow and dry, but we got him up to $35. So first sale in a while. So these things really need to be put in the chat, so all the chats can see them. It gets them more motivated, etc. Onlyfans basics. If chatter is completely new to Onlyfans, show them around the platform so they know exactly what they're going to be doing on their shift and where to find everything. Mass messages, sequences, customs, model info, sales notifications. If you want a separate video going through all of these things, how to understand the platform, just let me know. Drop in the comments. I know I don't have anyone on here right now, but I know I'm going to build that up very shortly. Psychology of subs. Go through the psychology of subscribers who join the page and exactly why they're talking to the model. So this is really important because a lot of people think they have to act like a salesman on the chats, and it's completely incorrect. You need to act like you're in love with a guy, and understand the psychology. Why are they subscribing to the OF account? Why do they want to talk to the model? Why have they even come onto this model in particular? This will help the chat have a better understanding of how to act in the fact that we don't want to come across as a saleswoman. So exactly what I just said, right? Our frame as the model. Explain how we want to come across. Cute, caring, kind, funny, shy, and nervous. Teaching the sales process. So let me pull up the sales process. I hope it's this one. Yeah, it is. So teaching the sales process. Where are we? Oh, we're here. Okay. Take 15 to 25 minutes to explain our sales process entirely to make them fully understand it, and how our structure and characteristics went on chats using this doc. Oh, it was literally right here. I don't know why I searched for it. It's basically this. I showed this in a previous video on a case study, so go and watch that video as well. I go through this. But yeah, so this is our entire sales process. They need to be taught this before they actually go onto the chats. So, explain that the chatter must stick to the chatting tools for at least 10 to 15 shifts until they fully understand the chatting style. And then they can sort of do a little bit of freestyle, right? Because they'll remember. It will be a lot quicker if they don't have to check the docs. However, we want to indoctrinate the chatters in the nicest way possible to chat. Just checking my mic is working. Chat how we want them to chat. And then they can freestyle because they know how we want them to chat. So they can work around that, right? Make sure the chatter properly understands how to use the docs while they're chatting so they always know what to say. Make the chatter have all of the docs at the top of the tab, as tabs on the top of their browser so they can always flick to them if needed. Cool. So that's 15 to 20 minutes of that, right? After 15 to 20 minutes of the chatter learning the sales process one-to-one, ask them different questions about exactly what we've just taught them. See if they get them right. So, for example, after the first sell, what should we do before going on to the second sell? When having a conversation with a subscriber, what is something very important that we must do? What is our general pricing structure? Just a couple of questions, right? Whatever it might be. The chat manager can decide. So if they think, right, he's struggling a little bit here, they can decide to ask those questions. So next, chatter screen share. The chatter's only really going to learn when he's doing it himself or she's doing it herself. So have the chat share their screen with you as they start to chat for themselves. Depending on the level of experience, watch the chatter for 1 to 4 hours. If the chatter is completely new, make sure that they sort of know what they're doing before you let them chat on their own for a while. So even if it's the whole shift, we need to stay with them, right? If they don't know what they're doing. Interactive training. Once the chatter has a good understanding of the sales process and the platform, have the chatter watch your screen in Discord 1 to 2 hours whilst you chat and explain everything that you're saying to the subscriber. So as you're chatting, explaining everything. You can ask the chatter some questions and get them involved, like what do you think I should say here, or how much should we price this for, etc. After the shift is over, read through some of the chats and see what the chatter needs to work on. Make sure the chatter knows what when they're working next. Keep them motivated to keep getting better. Get the chatter to clock out. That's it. Initial training phase, right? That's the initial, very first training session that the chatter will have. Next. And last doc. Okay, training session after the initial one. So they're going to have at least 3 to 5 training sessions after their initial training session. So relaying some of the training. Ask the chatter what they understand about the sales process. Before doing anything, see how much they remember. Because not everyone's going to remember everything, right? If the chatter is stuck on these, go over the entire sales process doc again. And that usually happens because it's a lot to take in, all of these different docs. So there's about 10 different docs in here, which lead on to more docs as well. So there's a lot to take in. But yeah, we just want to find out what they already know. Then do one of two options. If the chat hasn't got a clue about what to do and completely forgot everything, get them to watch your screen for the first 1 to 2 hours of a shift, explain everything you're doing using the docs and asking them questions to make sure they understand. Option 2, if the chat seems like they know what they're doing, get them to share their screen with you and watch them for 1 to 2 hours minimum to make sure they're doing everything they should be. If they're still not 100% confident, watch until the end of the shift and tell them everything to say / do using the docs. Repeat this training shift for 3 to 4 if needed. So at the end, it's going to be about 3 to 5 training shifts because we had the initial one as well. So this one, right? And then next phase. If by this point they have improved a lot, been a good listener, and you think they will be good going forward, you will offer them the full-time role as a chatter, and then they will now be on $3 an hour and 3% commission. If the chatter failed the training stage, if by this point the chatter isn't hitting good numbers, doesn't understand the sales process fully, and doesn't seem willing to learn, then kindly tell them that they are not suitable for our particular agency and we'll refer them to another agency if a job becomes available. So we always want to be nice, right? There's no point in being a prick, like, oh, you're shit at this job. Don't be like that. Just be nice, be cordial, right? And that is how you're going to train chatters. If you want to go through like our entire, I can link this this entire Lucid in the description, or actually DM me on Instagram and I'm going to send it to you because I'm trying to get my Instagram followers up. So yeah, DM me on Instagram. I'll send you this entire Lucid. You can use all the docs. And yeah, have a good day.